And then it'll start.
I didn't have stuff.
Well, I do with block budget.
$6 a piece. There, good job. The good ones are $30.
$5,000.
If we buy them.
Okay, good,
Walk
thanks.
back in charge, it won't start.
I've got 250.
Walk back out, football's moving like this.
So if I lose.
Roll all the bolts off in the inside.
I'm about to say, this is the,
That's fixed. No, they come down and help us load it.
red one, really?
They send the guy down here, used to help put it on the truck. We don't want to screw up.
We'll be better.
All that stuff. Because you go, stuff like that, you tear it up.
Pieces of code.
I've been just fine other than this rain.
Trash truck.
Well, are you filling in today?
No, it's a few more days.
About what you
Because
fixed?
that's, they don't carry the water.
Hopefully it's the April 14th one.
Hey, old timer, glad to see you survived your birthday.
Huh?
Hey, old timer,
Yes.
glad to see you
Hopefully.
You
survived.
know, it's pretty easy to survive it when you're at
It's
a probate
closed,
conference.
Yeah, I got the beer.
Pretty, my birthday is so freaking lame.
More.
Yes.
You couldn't get one of those judges to go down there and just fling ding one night?
Cause he's not.
I've got another
Not
sad.
kind of fun.
It's not caved in, this one's actually like. Yeah. Extremely overweight.
Okay.
City will be-
Yeah.
It's got the,
Thank you. Here, take your shirt off. These are the,
it's got minutes in it too.
oh. These aren't the ones we need fixed.
Let Jimmy. She's starting
Oh,
to
they're the
catch
ones
you
printed.
many mistakes.
I didn't
than
print.
she was.
I didn't either.
Will you go check on Tina and see if she is looking at the April 14th minutes? That's what's not right.
Okay.
Is that the one we did the stuff around on the culvert entry culvert?
The fall.
I don't
That
know.
one was.
Says she's looking at them right now.
Okay. Okay. April 14th. That must have been on the 28th.
I wasn't here for that call.
Oh, that one's all red line too. That one's wrong too. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll just call timeout on the minutes, wait for Tina to come in, and then we'll address the minutes at that point.
Okay.
Go ahead and start the recorder. I've got a juvenile here after this, so. All right, I'm gonna call Commissioners Court to order. Let the record show it is 9:33 a.m. All 5 members of the court are present. We're streaming live on YouTube, and if you're watching and would like to call in and make a comment, you may call in on 940-221-2107. If able, please stand for our pledges and invocation. Heavenly Father, we come to you today asking for your guidance and support as we begin this meeting. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion and grant us wisdom. Fill us with your grace as we make decisions that affect the citizens of Young County, and continue to remind us that all we do here today, all that we accomplish, is for your service, is for the service of our community. Amen. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible. All right, with your guys' permission, I'd like to skip to the supplemental agenda, just so we can get the sheriff and Chief Moody out of here as quick as possible. The supplemental agenda topic is discuss and consider an inmate housing agreement with the Great County of Liberty. And so I'll summarize it here a little bit. Sheriff has been talking to Liberty County. The deal that they're discussing is a 75 per day rate. That's what we charge Bell County. The sheriff did some research on that, and he believes that that is still the market for housing agreements. It looks pretty much exactly like the Bell County agreement. The one thing the sheriff and the auditor and I have talked about is coming up with a supplemental agreement to attach to the back of it so that we don't have the medical issue that we had with Bell County, and that they were upset that we were charging a different rate than they were entitled to. But, you know, they're in a different, those indigent rates are based off your levels of indigency, and they were at a higher rate than we were. So they felt like they were entitled to a higher rate, but technically if we're housing a prisoner, they're our prisoners and they fall under our indigent rates. How many prisoners are you? 30? So that's about what Bell County was giving us, right? Or is that more? 20. So this is gonna be a better deal. This is gonna be 10 more.
They're in a worse situation than Bell County.
So, Cheryl, help me if I'm wrong. Timmy might know the answer. We looked, and we collected about $500,000 more or less from Bell County, of which about 250 of it was profit. Is that right? Is that about right?
Look it up real quick, but you're right there. where
Because
I-
we did go up on food and everything last year, you know,
Uh-huh.
for this purpose. because-
Well, that's probably not gonna have the full year of food in there, so maybe it's a little bit, but it's a big margin. I mean, it's a very profitable deal for us to do this, which is wonderful. Timmy's going to give us, look up the numbers again. She has good numbers in the system.
Figured we'd be a little bit higher on the day rate,
Well, you know, in talking to, say, Dallas County, they'll
Yeah.
pay over 100. But there's issues with doing with Dallas County, namely the type of people that you get. It's a rougher crowd.
450,000 brought in,
Okay?
250,000 profit.
Gotcha. So the numbers are, we brought in with Bell County $450,000 and $250,000 of it was profit.
Good thing.
It was a good thing. Anything you want to add?
Good. We may be getting some of their others, but we do, I'm gonna go on the price on that.
Yeah, no, that's what you can do, is you can have 30, you know, you can agree to 30 at one price, and if they need more, then we can, you know.
They're having issues getting with some of their mental patients and
Mhm.
or inmates, so if I can house them, then.
Oh, yeah, well, that takes that, and that's more work. So that it justifies a higher rate. Well, is there any concerns about this? If not, or,
I'll make a motion with this, if you need to do an addendum later on the medical side.
So
I'm
you're-
waiting on a call from the indigent person that pays the bills there, just to make sure that that's understood, that's how that works. I talked to the assistant auditor there, the auditor was unavailable, and she thought that's how the other counties had been doing. And I said, well, I need to make sure because we ran into an issue, but I'd rather have it in writing with
I
an
think that was an
addendum.
issue. You know, item number 8 right there, it states that any expenses not mentioned above for prisoners from Liberty County, we pay by the Liberty County. So that's another part of that, it should cover part of that. But
I should
still,
make-
Well, but that's not mentioned above, we do talk about medical, so that clause won't apply.
But it has to be billed to us and discounted through Marcia, paid by us, and then reimbursed.
Yeah.
And I wish that reimbursed was in there, but it's
We're
not.
gonna release some of these back into Young County if they, because what it says there, the paperwork will be done by Liberty County before released by Young County.
That's right, so that means that whenever if we take anybody to TDC, they will be giving us the paperwork, the pin packet, and we will take that when we release.
Okay.
And then I like clause number 3, upon request by Young County Sheriff, Liberty County will immediately remove any and all prisoners being kept in the Young County Jail. We can end this at any time.
And going back to yours, if they're not the pin packets, and they're just here on it, because I'm telling you, the situation in Liberty County is their jail shut down, period. They had to get rid of these inmates.
Like permanently?
No, not permanently, until they fix their issue.
So this is a short-term contract.
Maybe, but I talked to the assistant auditor, they may be gonna have to build a new one. She was
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's pretty
it's
serious.
serious.
So, they will have some inmates there that will be doing like their time or whatever, and they might be just released here, but they'll have people come and pick them up. We're not gonna be responsible if they're here on some kind of misdemeanor charge.
Can we not require them to be picked up?
No, I mean,
We're just dumping them into our community out of another community. Ain't a good idea.
well, that's part of the risk. I mean, it's like you're bringing a bunch of people in here that's gonna be in my jail too, that if my jailers have to deal with.
Yeah.
That's just a bigger risk than normal daily activities.
Well, if that becomes a problem, we terminate the agreement.
I agree.
You know, we have the ability to, to end this agreement, sheriff just has to give him a call.
Yeah.
He can terminate it anytime he wants. But I agree with you, we don't want people serving their time and then being released in Young County because we don't want them to stay here.
Right.
I don't see a lot of that happening because their property and stuff is gonna be there.
Yeah.
But upon release, they have to have all that signed for it and all that.
I mean, we can what if it all day, but I think that, in the end, that either, if I was in another county and I had somebody that was gonna be, I was gonna get let out, I'd want my family to come pick me up.
Is your motion contingent on an addendum being created?
In the future.
When you give me 5 minutes to change
In the
it.
future. But we need to get this signed and get it going so we get it back.
Commissioner Wiley has made a motion to accept the proposed housing agreement with Liberty County with the understanding that the auditor and I will work on, and the sheriff will work on obtaining an amendment to nail down the indigent medical rates that they'll pay. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Craig. Any discussion? She beat you. She beat you. You just maybe a little further. It takes a little bit longer to get there. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Thanks, Sheriff. Is that the original?
Yes. I'll sign it when you, I didn't want to sign it until we were here.
You make sure Cheryl gets a copy of that. Well, good work on that, Travis. That's awesome.
Well, it's called networking. I was at a conference and just kind of fell in my lap.
Well, good. Well, that's a good thing to fall in your lap. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. All right, let's move to public comments. Do we have any public comments? Please.
Mr.
Judge, I'd like to say, yesterday, sort of representing the Young County Fire, we had a fire toned out at Murray yesterday and took 3 trucks and promptly got 2 of them stuck up to the axle.
Ooh, in the mud?
In the mud, yes, in mud. We called for the county dozer. They responded, precinct 2 guys came out. Fortunately, we had another truck coming and we got those pulled out, got the fire out, and got to the road by the time the dozer showed up. So we didn't have to unload, but just a very good, thank you to commissioners and especially precinct 2 for responding on Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's amazing. And just so everyone knows, Chris Moody is our emergency management coordinator in Young County and is doing an outstanding job with that. And I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you.
And speaking of emergencies, Jared Cook, TDM, is here. He has been an incredible resource for our county. And we are very thankful that you're here, Jared. Thank you. Any other public comments? We'll move to the tax assessor collector's April activity report. The Wildcatter Ranch and Resort submitted $9,060.90 for March of 2025. Cabot at Salt Fork Ranch, submitted $40.95 for March 2025. And Ingleside Ranch LLC submitted $17.75 for January through March. I'd also like to call everybody's attention to the packet where we have the tax assessor collector's April activity report. Through this time in 2025, she's brought in $491,000 in fees compared to $521,000 last year. If you remember last month, she had collected more. She was ahead of pace. Now she's a little bit behind pace. So there's some ebb and flow there. Next page in your packet is going to be Constable Brian Little's April activity report. It's in there for your perusing, but he's 8 citations, 2 writs, 7 precepts, 1 warrant, 80 duty hours, 27 control hours, 1 agency assist. So also, I think we discussed this, he's gonna move into the old treasurer's office. So it'll be nice to have, on the 3rd floor, or 2nd floor, I call it 3rd floor, but above us, we have probation and we have John Moore up there as kind of security. It's gonna be nice to have Constable Little on this floor, just in case something happens. That ends the public comments and announcements section. So we have item number 4, consider the county clerk meetings from the previous meetings, which were April 14th and April 28th. Do you have?
No, I don't have any of them.
You don't have them? Okay. Let's put this on the next agenda. So we'll have 3 sets of minutes to look at at the next meeting. So we'll just table that and move it to next. Tina was with me at the conference all week, so it kind of makes and it was a full conference. There wasn't a lot of time.
Or 14th or 20th.
Yeah, we'll table it to the next meeting. All right, so item number 5, consider the treasurer's financial report, updates on securities pledge. Treasurer Milo?
No report.
Okay. We got a donation for the jail work crew from Mr. Kenny Whitberg, from the Gooseneck Cemetery Association, $1,000. Do we have a motion to accept that donation?
So moved.
We have a motion from Commissioner Cresswell and a second from Commissioner Shook. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? That passes 5-0. All right, we'll move to item number 6, consider the auditor's budget amendments and vouchers payable. Ms. Roberts?
And it all, plus
Okay, on vouchers for today, total is $173,102.75. And out of the general fund is $85,274.92. And there is Don's butane included.
Okay. Anything unusual?
No, no, I think there was a vehicle payment or some kind of payment, equipment payment in the precincts, but everything else is just, not a real big run. There were a lot of little bills, but she had stacked this big to be that much, it's just small bills.
Okay. So we have a motion from Commissioner Cresswell. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second from Commissioner Craig. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0-1 with Commissioner Wiley abstaining. I knew.
Okay.
So I have budget amendments. Precinct one, we're fixing a few negatives within his budget. There's a couple more items on the agenda later. Discuss that. We're trying to fix right now what's negative. Also, there was a negative in the boiler maintenance, but there's money in the courthouse building repair that I can move up to fix that, and I'll also put that on here.
And something we're gonna need to really think about as we get into budget is the boiler and the chiller and,
I think we pretty much have.
we thought that last year. Yeah.
There's the budget.
Okay, so, precinct one is, are both those precinct one?
The top two are, yes.
Yeah, so a budget amendment, of $7,857 from miscellaneous precinct one to building maintenance. A budget amendment, precinct one for $13,000 from miscellaneous to equipment repair. And then a budget amendment of $2,932 from budget building repair maintenance to boiler maintenance in the courthouse budget. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Cresswell and a second from Commissioner Wiley.
And to explain a little bit on that, on my having to move for building repairs, when we did the budget last year, we put that in miscellaneous instead of in building repairs. When we did the budget, so that's why that went negative, so we had to move
And
it.
that was all that reconstruction on that front.
Yeah, all the office work.
We just paid it differently than we budgeted it.
Right.
Okay. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
I have a quote here for, one of the DVD to be able to copy the DVDs. And this is for, JP3. He had put on here, and this is for like a single, but now we're looking at, thinking he may want something with multiple. We're gonna talk to him about, this one was about $145. He does have the money in the JP technology, that's where he wants to take it out of. The multiple may be a little bit higher, and I think that probably would be a better thing, so he can copy, if he has to go on to a lawyer or something else. But anyway, so I don't know, I'd say between $145 and $200, but it's out of the JP technology, and under his funds, I think he had over $1,000 left in the budget.
So we don't need to run that through if it's in the
Well,
budget.
we usually always ask for the technology, just
Okay.
as a through court.
Okay, so,
But that's just for a single, and now,
are they doing, they wanna do more than, they don't want this in the machine they want?
I don't know yet. I think he said he thought it was, but then now we're thinking it may be for a multiple, which would still be under $200.
Yeah. Okay. So do we have a motion to approve, the JP1? So this is JP3, so this is, Joey,
Judge Joey.
Judge Joey to purchase a, DVD copier. Motion from Commissioner Wiley, do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Craig, all in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
And that is out of JP technology, I funded the back, yes. Also,
Oh,
talking about Constable One moving over here.
Yeah.
He has no desk, no furniture. He went to Midwest and looked some, he thinks he's found a chair and stuff, but he's gonna need probably between 1,500 and 2,000 to get him a desk and him kind of, and all. We have
We
filing
got card
cabinets.
tables.
He
I've
said.
got some junky desks out there at the shop. They'd be just fine for him.
But we'd have to move it out of contingency for him to do that, because he does not have that. You know, we didn't know he was gonna move over here when we started the budget last year.
Yeah,
So,
well,
2,000 max, but probably not over 1,500. Because he's found just not a huge desk. We have filing cabinets already, so we can fix him up with filing cabinet, just no desk and chair.
well, it will be good to have him.
I've got some
in
of them chairs we
courthouse
took out of
versus
the
sheriff's
basement.
office.
I'll bring one back.
We need one that'll stand up.
It leans a little to the left.
We don't need it falling in there.
I'll second that.
All right, motion from Commissioner Shook, a second from Commissioner Wiley to take money out of contingency to trick out the constable's office. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 4-0. Informational only, draw number 5 from the Reno project for man-made construction out of the ARPA fund for the new auditor's office, $15,300. And what was that for, Cheryl?
It's still, some of it is on the treasurer's office redoing all that.
It wasn't anything specific, it was
No.
just the process.
Still the finishing up Reno down
Fair
there and
enough.
then what they did.
Okay, they brought the doors last Thursday,
For downstairs?
downstairs to put in. And the guy that measured them twice. And he got the same measurement both times.
And they're wrong.
No, they're right. But the manufacturer that built the doors, the widths are all right, but the heights were all wrong.
Okay?
So, they're in the process of redoing those doors and bringing them back. And I think this week, they're supposed to come in here and paint the entrance to the courthouse too,
Okay.
and have that done.
Good.
So as soon as they get that back, and also he's got a door with, could be this week or the first of next week, it goes in between the constable's office and the other office and there.
Okay.
That'll be done.
Good deal. We'll move to item number 7, discuss and consider employee bonds. We have Miss Susie Jacobs in the treasurer's office, $5,000, and Mr. Terry Chase Banks in the auditor's office for $5,000.
So moved.
We have a motion from Commissioner Cresswell. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Shook. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. Item number 8, consider the extension agent's report request for reimbursement. Ms. Penny Barron, $631.51, and Ms. Savannah Williams, $945 even.
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Wiley. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Craig. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
I think Penny's was a little high this go around because she forgot last time.
She got it in on that second.
Did she get it on the
Yeah.
28th one?
She
You
did.
guys, the one you wasn't here.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll move to item number 9, discuss the April activity report for the jail sheriff's office.
Maybe better or something like that.
Wow, we were completely down to just us, weren't we?
Here,
It's 64 jail right now.
64.
Oh, out of county.
6 juvenile transports. We have had a huge increase in juveniles.
Probably
And
not gonna be any better than this one.
Is that typical of this time of year? Kind of spring, is that, no?
I think it's just typical of our society.
Well, I've noticed in juvenile court, we didn't have juvenile court for a big stretch of time, and then we've been having 3 at a time now. It just seems like business is really picking up on that front.
Yeah, those kids been keeping us busy lately.
Yeah, because of their severity of their charges.
Yeah.
A little bit higher.
Oh, there's some serious stuff.
Serious.
Very serious stuff. Hey, how's, you and I've talked about this. Tell everyone about how it's working now that you have 2 additional nurses and that you've actually rolled the team out one time.
You know, having these 2 nurses, you know, it helps in the jail, and it's been helping with that mobile mental health unit we have, which we've had 1 call already. And speaking of the vehicles, I just talked to Billy Hughes, and they should be here by the end of the week. That's what they told me 2 weeks ago. But
Oh, we don't have the mental health vehicles yet?
2 weeks ago, they were supposed to be having them here, and they
Okay.
didn't have them. So, they're coming from Andrews. Anyway, with that, it worked out fairly well. There was some kinks, you know, maybe the first time and everything, but it worked out good. And, what I've seen too is that we can use these 2 in the jail with the same issues that we're having out here. You know, especially when we have intakes where they come in off the street and they're already in a similar, you know, crisis, which we've used them for that as well. So it's been very beneficial to have them in there.
Have you had the training? Have you gone, has the deputies gone to training yet?
I went to that mandatory conference that they had about a month ago that I had to go to. We have just completed last week 3 days of about 10-hour classes with half of my staff, or almost all of it. We have a few more that have to go next month. But both of them went, and almost all the deputies and a lot of the jailers and dispatchers. So where everybody's going.
Any PD or all new PD?
We did all of ours first,
Okay.
and the next month's gonna be the rest of what we had on our group, and then the PD, Grand PD, and all new PD will be there.
That's exciting.
Yeah, and it's very good. Class was great. So,
Anyone have any questions for Travis on that?
What about your refunds on your mileage? From the TDHC?
there was no reports, I guess, in there for that, so I don't know, I had to ask her about it, but we haven't taken a lot of people to TDC yet, but I mean, I know we had some. Apparently we had 6,000 miles. We had, what we did have was a lot of blue warrants bringing people back, stuff like that.
I see what it
Not
is,
blue warrants, but
6,000
bench warrants.
Yeah, Mitchell's out of town.
Yeah, so, we did have a lot of mileage, but
So we get a reimbursement on the juvenile?
I don't think so.
I don't think so, I think we're getting.
I don't think so. I think-
That's the thing the community doesn't realize, we're 100% county.
Responsible for the juveniles.
And they talked about that, I think, in this session, and still nothing, it's still our responsibility.
We've been having a lot of transports lately.
A lot of transport.
We haven't had to use our juvenile bed though that we paid for.
I don't even know if we still have that.
Do we still have that?
It was only for a year.
Yeah, I don't think so,
I don't remember.
because I know I've been with Jay and Heath, and it's never been brought up. In fact, when we had this last incident, it took us a while to find a place to house them.
And that was Wichita, wasn't it?
Yes,
So Wichita, you're looking at 2 days max probably up there. These other facilities where we have to go on post, and all that, so.
that's probably our biggest issue, is just the temporary housing of them.
Yeah. And the bad thing about that, even if we had that bed, if one of theirs or that county that we had the bed in, they needed it, they kept us out,
Right, and it was only for 10 days.
you know, so. I think y'all even go to Garza County too, don't you?
We do.
Quite a bit here lately.
Mostly we go to Garza, I feel like. That's-
Well, and that's the way it used to be too. I mean, years ago, that's where we went, was Garza County.
Yeah.
And that's
That's a
4
long
hours,
ways, that's a long ways.
one way.
I think that, well, It is what it is. It's gonna be interesting.
It's all right, we just need to, what makes it hard is when we have to go pick them up, bring them back here, and then take them back,
You look at minimum 10, 12 hours.
which means we'll change out the drivers.
All right, you wanna look at the sheriff's report?
And I'll ask her about why it wasn't on there, the reimbursements. Just, I mean, I know she files for them, but that doesn't mean that she gets it right away either.
Thank you, Sheriff.
Fire's a lot.
Tell you, my,
Livestock's not gonna go down.
my safe alert has been going bonkers lately. Seems like we're getting a lot of,
Yesterday.
yeah.
I was busy yesterday.
I don't know what was going on Mother's Day, but it was just like wreck, fire, all kinds of stuff.
Livestock complaints will probably never go down.
Yeah, I would think of the water and the grass, everything that maybe would go down, because everybody's got grass now.
Yeah, and sometimes that water tears fences up too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Washouts.
They just find their way out.
Right.
And the
I've
fifty
seen-
bar ditch is a lot taller than the pasture.
It always looks better to them, even though they got knee-high grass.
Grass is all greener on the other side.
Right.
3 K-9 development, three K-9 deployments.
The, THC, we're still working on that, so there's not a whole lot we can talk about, but. Still, the process still looks good.
You 100% now?
Yes. The, total calls were kind of still up there. But they look good though.
Look good.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Sheriff.
Well, since you're here, I'd like you to stay for this, which is item number
Yes.
10, which is ratify resolution 123, fiscal year 2025, for the application to the fiscal year 26 Senate Bill 234 catalytic converter grant program regarding the Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority to provide financial support to law enforcement, task force, and agencies for economic motor vehicle theft, including catalytic converter theft. So what this is a resolution that I signed on behalf of all of us, basically authorizing the sheriff's department to seek a grant for the cameras. So we're going under the theft. This is theft prevention and detection. There was the reason I didn't feel like I could wait till Commissioner's Court because we had a deadline on applying for the grant. And so I'm asking for forgiveness at this point, but I felt like time was of the essence if we were going to get to apply for this. Now, I know that when we talked about the camera system, there's a thought about partnering with the city of Olney and the city of Graham for it. I have mentioned this to the city of Olney and the city of Graham, and I think there's some interest in them partnering with us. But I haven't, when they were here presenting, they told me that they were gonna send me specific numbers and breakdowns. I never got that, so I haven't actually been able to talk numbers with anybody.
Yeah, I mean, we'll talk to them,
But-
they said they would, but I haven't nothing.
But my understanding with Will, Will's our grant writer on this, is that he wouldn't accept anything except without running it through court. But, let me read the resolution. Whereas under the provisions of the Texas Transportation Code, Chapter 1006, and the Texas Administrative Code, Title 43, Part 3, Chapter 57, entities are eligible to receive grants from the Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority to provide financial support to law enforcement task forces and agencies for economic motor vehicle theft, including catalytic converter theft. And whereas the grant program will assist the jurisdiction to combat catalytic converter theft, and Now therefore be it resolved in order that Lieutenant William Cawthorn, Young County Sheriff's Office, is designated as the authorized official to apply for, accept, decline, modify, or cancel the grant application of the Motor Vehicle Crime Prevention Authority Grant Program and all other necessary documents to accept said grant, and be it further resolved that Lieutenant William Cawthorn is designated as the program director and the Young County Auditor Cheryl Roberts is designated as the financial officer for this grant.
And I'd like to say Will has really worked hard on this, to try to make this happen with the county judge and Cheryl too.
I have had the opportunity to discuss in Nortex with several counties that do have these programs, and they say two things. They say, one, it's a very useful tool. They said, two, they go, Flock has grown so big, so fast, that they are way behind, years behind in installing, and so it's one of those that just gotta be careful because, especially with Flock, they've gotten so big so fast that they can't keep up. Now, there's other vendors and other companies that do this, and they all have pros and cons. And it's probably gonna be one of these companies that's gonna end up, there's like 4 or 5 doing it, and one's gonna be the winner eventually at the end, but.
And the benefit with Flock too is surrounding agencies use that Flock already. That's the benefit we would have with them, so.
It's just that Umphress and Jack County was specifically talking about how behind they are. It's been over a year and they still don't have most of their cameras
But look
installed.
what they've got now, the cameras that they do have already.
Yeah.
Well, and they're having huge success with it. I mean, they're,
Absolutely.
he's a fan. He's just saying it's, you
And of
know,
course, that's one thing they didn't really
yeah,
discuss whenever I was in on the meetings either.
Of course.
You know,
of course.
we thought we could find out after we do.
You give us a game, we will install them.
Yeah, right.
Who has the original of this contract?
Me.
Can I
I
get?
just had Cheryl make a copy.
Oh, she's got a copy.
Yes.
Perfect. Okay, do we have a motion to ratify the resolution that I signed
I get a motion.
without getting your approval to sign? We have a motion from Commissioner Wiley. Do we have a second? Nope. Nope. I'll make a second.
Second.
All in favor? Either of you?
Even me.
All right, 5-0, I'm off the hook. Thank you, guys. Thank you, appreciate it. I know. All right, 11, ratify the standard form of agreement between Level 5 Architecture PLLC and Young County for repairs to the gazebo. We discussed and voted to do this. I executed the contract, so I'm just asking for a motion to ratify the agreement that I signed after the meeting. Motion from Commissioner Wiley, do we have a second?
Judge, can I say something?
You may.
I don't know if y'all saw the crime scene tape around. You know, I put that on there when we had our single reminder.
Oh.
Just to keep kids
From crawling up under there.
Underneath it.
And a little bit shady.
I saw y'all set up over there, did the sheriff's posse, was that a worthwhile, was that just to have a presence on the square, or were y'all?
That was also because, you know, you can see the banner, I mean, our canopy. For them, if somebody needed us, they knew where we were at.
Yeah, I thought that was great, I mean, y'all were very visible
Yeah.
on the square.
It all worked out great.
Y'all
Good
discussed
day.
this last meeting,
Huh?
on the gazebo, y'all did that on the last meeting, right?
Yeah, you weren't there for that.
Okay.
So, okay, we have a motion for Commissioner Wiley, do we have a second? Second for Commissioner Craig, all in favor? Any opposed? Are you abstaining, or are you?
I don't know what's going on, so yeah.
Okay.
I'll just stay out of it. Y'all voted on it.
Basically, we hired Level 5 to give us options on replacing, repairing, or abandoning the gazebo.
I can tell you, a lot of people want the gazebo back
Oh.
when it's time for the pictures,
For
the senior year.
Abandoning is, I think, it would have, yeah, I think everybody wants to repair or replace, but we're gonna get those options. That's what we're saying. So it's 4-0-1 with Commissioner Cresswell abstaining.
And are we just paying that right now for the survey thing out of courthouse expenses? Did we talk about it?
We hadn't talked about it yet.
Yeah, this is what I have to
Do we not have
Leave it up to me,
insurance
bring it
on,
up.
do we not have insurance on the building?
If they want me to.
Yes, but it's, yeah, I don't think it's gonna be,
Wait till level 5 gets through, it'll be close.
it'll be starting to withstand the wind.
We're not going back to wood.
You know.
All right, we'll move to item number 12, discuss and consider the recommendation letter for the vacant seat on the Young County Child Welfare Board. So, the recommendation is Missy Hemby of Newcastle to serve on the vacant seat on the Child Welfare Board. She is, principal at Newcastle. Elementary. So the elementary principal at Newcastle. I'm looking forward to working with her. I do sit on that board, but it's our job. We appoint the members of that board. So do we have a motion to appoint Miss Missy Hemby to the Young County Welfare Board, Child Welfare Board?
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Wiley. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
Second from Commissioner Cresswell. Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. All right, item number 13. This is something, and this is my bad. We should have done this in the fourth quarter of last year, which is to announce or to make a calendar of our regular meetings. And so the list that's in your packet is the second and fourth Monday of throughout 2025, with the exception of if Monday is a holiday, we have it on a Tuesday. And then the other exception is in the months of April and September, every Monday is a regular meeting. And the reason for that is during budget, you're required, you have to vote on something, it has to be on a regular meeting, not a called meeting. And so, this is really for Alan's benefit. We start budget in June, and we start meeting every Monday. And I made every Monday in August a regular meeting so that we can vote on any one of those Mondays. And then every Monday in September. The goal is to vote on the budget on the last Monday in August. So we will cancel those extra meetings in September. But if we hit a hiccup, we've got extra dates to be able to put it in. And we do have a hardship in that our papers only publishes once a week. Graham only publishes 2 times a week. We have to get our stuff in early. It makes it really hard sometimes to hit a second and fourth Monday, especially if we get off schedule those days. So do we have a motion to approve the regular called meetings of Commissioners Court for 2025?
So moved.
Motion from Commissioner Cresswell. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Craig. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. That brings us to, drum roll please, the item number 14, the fiscal year 2026 budget calendar. So, if I could draw everyone's attention to this brightly colored sheet, I have us starting on June 2nd and meeting every Monday afterwards, with the exception of Monday, June 30th. That's 4th of July week. Historically, we have not met that week. That's a week when I like to take that week off. It's one reason, but a lot of people, that's kind of a week that people take off a lot. So the items in blue have to do with posting in the paper. When we get stuff in Graham and Alney to run ads, we have to run an ad about when we vote on salaries and for elected official salaries. And then we have to put a budget workshop, a public hearing on voting on the tax rate and the budget. I've tried something different this year in the hopes of making the budget process a little bit more efficient. I have already started speaking to department heads and scheduling them of when they're gonna present their budgets to us. So we're gonna start right off the bat on June 2nd, where Harley's gonna do the 911 mapping budget. The second week, we're gonna have the tax assessor, collector, and the district attorney present their budgets. And then the next week, we'll have the district clerk, the district judge, the county attorney, and then we'll have the extension office and home economics. So, but you can kind of see down in there. I would like to point out that on July 7th, our two senior commissioners, Jimmy Wiley and Stacy Cresswell, I had you scheduled to present your budgets on July 7th. And then Scott and Alan, y'all, I gave y'all an extra week.
Thank you.
So y'all will present the next week, but I just want to give you guys a heads up that you guys are, it's, so we're May, June, July. So you're about a little bit over 2 months, well, yeah. Commissioners 1 and 4, y'all are 2 months out from presenting your budget, and commissioners 2 and 3, y'all will be the following week. I've scheduled Sheriff Babcock on July 21st. I put Veteran Service Officer there too, but basically I've left him as the only person on that meeting so that we'll have plenty of time to sit down. So you've got almost 3 months to get your budget together from today. But the things that are highlighted in yellow are voting meetings. But I think this is a doable calendar, and I think I have everything on here. I don't think we'll miss anything if we follow the calendar. Any concerns?
Just give it to me.
Do I have a motion to adopt the fiscal year 2026 budget calendar for Young County?
So,
A motion from Commissioner Wiley, we have a second from Commissioner Cresswell. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0, and the fun begins on June 2nd. Item number 15, this is Commissioner Cresswell's item. Discuss and consider moving excess money from salary line to overtime. Can you give us a little background on that, Stacy?
I had a little area where I had some money that was budgeted for regular pay, cause I didn't have a hand at that time. Right now, I'm having to work a lot of overtime, trying to fix these roads back, since we got 18 to 20 inches in some areas of the county in the past 3 weeks. We've lost a bunch of rock, and it's just, the overtime is gonna eat us up if I don't do some moving, and I'm trying to budget it with what I have. If we don't wanna do that, then we'll go to 16.
So are you working them on Fridays and weekends too?
I did not work Saturday this weekend until we got through with this meeting here. I went ahead and just worked Friday because I know I have the money to cover it for Friday. Anything after that, we will do, Saturdays too.
How difficult is it to apply for these FEMA funds?
So I just got a text actually that FEMA's probably not gonna help us out with this.
I didn't think.
Even though we're meeting our threshold, they said that we're too far away from the state threshold, even with Jack and Monte filing as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and push it anyway. This is a slim chance, so I'm gonna try for that slim chance.
Because we also have, although it might be covered by warranty, how's the roof on the jail?
So the warranty is not, I found out the warranty is not in effect.
We also have some damage to the jail in our roof.
Okay. I can come do a piece out on that as well and submit it.
Is it from the rain?
Yes.
File it on insurance?
Did,
Yes. But I've already talked to the insurance company about it. We can't file it with the insurance.
Did the drainage out back hold up where we did all that work?
It did,
Okay.
but we need some more gravel under it, kind of washed away. But with that pipe going out there and everything, it's pretty good. I just think we need some more gravel.
All right.
All right, what do we think about moving money from salary line to overtime?
Sound like me?
He has about $4,000 this one year. Because he was in between hands and then hires.
Oh, yeah, so you actually have some unused salary?
Right.
Yes, that's,
At this point, we're still working with what's in our budget. We're not trying to move money that I don't have in budget.
Okay.
Now, the next line's where that happens.
All right, so do we have a motion to, Stacy's making a motion to move money from his salary line to overtime. Do we have a second? Second from Commissioner Wiley. All in favor? Any opposed? That passes 5-0. Okay, so item number 16 is discuss and consider moving money market funds for emergency repairs on the roads, amount to be determined. So explain that, Commissioner Cresswell.
We really don't have I've got 50,000 still in my materials line. I go to trying to figure load count. I'm about 16,000 over that to get the roads back to the condition we had them before the rain started. That's not counting fuel, that's not counting, man hours to get it there and get it put back on the roads. That's where the overtime's gonna kick in and hurt me the most. I suggest I leave this open-ended and take some out of my money market accounts to cover that extra cost for materials and fuel.
When you're saying your money market account, are you talking about your fund balance, your carryover?
This is money he actually has in the money market, and when we move it out of there into the budget, it increases the bottom line of his budget for that year. So you have to do that in order to increase what he's being increased. And then if there's extra money left at the end of this year, we've talked about moving that back. But it's an emergency thing that you use the money market, and this is pretty much an emergency.
Well, and I would say it's the road repairs in the rain is an emergency.
Yes.
I mean, we've got some people that are some real issues out there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So all of the commissioners have the emergency money if they need.
Yeah.
So Commissioner Cresswell has made a motion to move money from
Can
this
I-
money market fund. Yeah.
Can I make the motion to be for all commissioners that need to do this before, I mean, there's some of us gonna run out of money on this materials, and then there's some of us that are not.
Okay. Yes, you can. So a motion for all 4 precincts to have the ability to move money out of their money market funds for emergency road repairs due to the flooding. Motion for Commissioner Cresswell?
Yes, sir.
We have a second from Commissioner Shook. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0.
If we have the money within our money market already, no, we don't have to go into the money market, we can take money.
Well, in order
we
to
have.
get it moved to increase your budget, you have to move it out of the
Okay.
money market.
Okay.
And like I said, we can look at this after September's over, and if there is money in there, we can move it back.
Move back, okay.
This is really more appropriate for open session, but I had a talk with David Spiller yesterday, and there's 2 things that are happening that I think might be of interest to us. One, today, he believes they're voting on changing the 50,000 to 100,000. So, it was scheduled for Sunday, but he said that he was pretty sure that they're behind, that it was gonna get pushed to that. And the other thing he asked me my opinion on is what is my opinion? There's legislation out there to allow the county to set noise restrictions out in the county. Like in the city of Graham, there's a rule on you can't play Metallica in your background at a certain decibel at a certain time. And my guess is that in some of these places, these subdivisions have started developing, and you know, the people are living next to each other, and there's nothing that allows counties to make any rules on that.
There's a state law on an ordinance on, it's not ordinance, but state law on nuisance in that in sound.
Is there?
There is.
Okay. Well, there's a new one now that actually allows Commissioners Court to be able to do that. I told him I didn't think we necessarily had a need for it, but I could see as the county grew, that I could see where at some point you may want that, but.
Jimmy's had one deal where they wanted that.
You know, that's the thing about the county, we really don't have the authority to do any ordinances at all.
Yeah.
You're right.
Well, this would
You know?
change it, and this sounds like the start of, you know, you've got a lot of counties where these subdivisions are growing, and there's like cities outside of the cities.
They need a trash ordinance before they need a sound ordinance.
Yeah,
Oh.
yeah. I told him it didn't really affect us much, but I could see where if we grew, I can envision how we could use it later, but, all right, that was enough of that. Move to item number 17, discuss and consider the maintenance agreement on the chiller and boilers from Star Mechanical for $2,200. That's in your packet. Commissioner Wiley, you want to explain this to us?
This is kind of the same situation we had with the one at Wichita Falls. It was over $10,000. And I talked to them and see what they would do it for, and they said $2,200.
So is this just a maintenance program?
The maintenance program's the same.
Is it exclusive?
Yeah, it's two, what they, like the chiller out here. The boilers, they're gonna take care of that, and they also gonna take care of the water, chemical that goes inside the water, that runs through all the lines in the house. So that's a whole lot cheaper than the other way.
There's not a contract with it. Is there a contract with it?
That's what there's one that's gonna be, there's contract terms, what it says, it's follow that.
So the proposal notes, check air handlers, fall and spring, check chiller, early spring, clean descale, tankless boiler spring, test RPZ yearly. It's not exclusive. There's nothing in here that says it's exclusive. It's just a service program.
Yes.
You just have to accept and sign down at the bottom.
Except in Science Falls,
I can do that, let's run the other one.
We have a motion to accept. We have a second.
Second.
Second from Commissioner Craig. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion passes 5-0. You're a little slow, Commissioner Cresswell.
Inches closer.
Item number 18, discuss and consider burn restrictions. We're getting a lot of fires, though. What's causing the fires?
Control burns that people aren't getting
Out of control burns.
Is it just people doing control burns that they can't?
Yeah, just not paying
Well,
attention
like
to it.
yesterday, he did it on like Saturday and then let it burn out, and then Sunday it was rekindled.
and we don't know every mile an hour.
Yeah.
I think no action on that for a minute.
Yeah, Scott's got the dozer, I'm not too worried.
Well, I ain't burnt my stuff yet. Waiting for the conditions to be right.
I think you're right, but I don't think.
Yeah.
No action.
I'm being responsible with my burn
No
policy.
action.
No action on the burn restrictions. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
So
We have a second? Second from
Second.
Craig. All in favor? We are adjourned. Yes, sir. I appreciate that.
The word you hear,
I'm gonna have lunch with him and then I might be there.
I really didn't want to go to town to chase down stuck trucks.
Tom, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good to see you. I'm getting, how are you doing, sir? Good to see you. When are you?
I started,
Where'd you work for? Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I'm just taking.
Are you glad to be done with that, or are you missing? Yeah. I can.
Thank you, Harley.